there was some debate about whether or not they were back and forth right between Travis and Patrick, whether or not the behind the back pass was scripted or planned, or whether it was off the cuff, improvised by Patrick. I'd like to know what the chat thinks here, whether they're team scripted or team unscripted.
What are
Bo?
you thinking about that, man? Like you saw both their interviews. I mean, it happened during the game. I don't know if you saw them during the game, but we saw them at the beginning of the show. They kind of have the same story. Like if you're getting interviewed by a cop, like, hey man, let's work out the details. Like, I'm gonna say you said this kind of thing. Then again, those guys do improvise a lot, right? I'm kind of the opinion that they did call this out. If you go back, watch training camp practices, everything kind of seems to be the setup. That I mean, the receivers are running a little bit different routes, but the inside, that whole inner working to set up that backwards pass looks pretty identical to the ones that we saw in training camp earlier this year. But I don't know. It's one of those things. I think you might have to play it close to the chest. You don't want to say that you're calling a behind the back pass. People know it's coming, kind of thing. But that's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was planned. I think Patrick was giving his buddy a hard time there and having some fun with it. Also, like you said, but you kind of like want to make sure that you're keeping a little bit of an element of surprise, right? So that when people see that type of formation, that play come out, maybe they're not expecting it. The other thing, too, to me, which although we've heard receivers on the Chiefs in the past say the one thing about playing with Patrick Mahomes is you got to be ready to get the ball anytime,
Right.
anywhere on
Right.
the field.
At
Um,
any angle.
you've
Yeah.
heard guys say that no look, back all the way across the field. The play is never dead, and you are never out of the play. We've heard numerous Chiefs receivers say that over the last few years here in Kansas City. So yeah, they. I don't want to call Patrick Mahomes a liar, but I
Fibbing
think
and
maybe,
lying,
yeah, maybe bending the truth. Is that what they call that? Right? I'm not lying. I was just bending the truth a little bit. A white lie, not hurting anybody. I just think that you got to be ready for the behind the back pass because, like I said, it could be low, it could be
100.
a little bit off target, right? And a guy like Travis is somebody I think they would trust to throw that.
I think you see it too if you watch the replay. Travis, he says he turns and catches, and Mahomes is already mid throw. But if you watch Travis's body motion, he's kind of turning around with his hands up, ready for it. So that's another reason I'd say that.
Laney is thinking not planned and improvised. So I don't know if anybody else is weighing in here, but yeah, John C. You're right. He did have a big lane to go there, so I could have been. Like I said, far be it for me to call Patrick Mahomes a liar, but I think that was a little bit more planned than they let on. And maybe it's one of those things where that's like an option on the play, right? It's like, look, if the dude is wide open and there's nobody around him, do it. If not, throw the ball away. I don't think there's any chance. Patrick said he's going to try and run for the first down in a preseason game. I don't want to see Patrick Mahomes running to get a first down.
You know, right? I don't either. But he is one hell of an escape artist and a great scrambler in that fact. Does this open up what he can do scrambling? All of a sudden, you're
Oh yeah,
chasing him one on one towards the sideline. He just fakes behind the back. You stop him, and he's right up the sideline. First down.
right. Yeah, no, definitely adds a wrinkle to that formation and that RPO look. And teams, you got to have it in the back in the back of their mind, right? They got to be ready.
Right.
That's what they say. Like you want to create hesitancy because in the NFL with the level of player and the speed of the game, if you can just get someone to hesitate for just that tiny,
Yeah.
tiny
Yeah.
bit, that's where you can make things happen and you can get guys open and hit the other team and hurt them.
Yeah. That split second. Sometimes that's all you need. That's all the difference between getting open or being covered. Right.
Right. It begs the question. He did it in the preseason game. We've seen him do it in training camp. We asked this question last year, and I said I thought we would see it. We did not. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not a slam dunk. But what do you think, Bo? Does he do it in a regular season game this year behind the back?
It'll get handled when it gets handled. So yeah, I think there's a specific team that we'll see it get run on them, especially if we go up 2 or 3 points. I could definitely see them. I could just see them using it at, like you said, as a mind game, as a trick play where they're like, oh, they're gonna set it up just like that, fake it, something else is open, right? Like I wouldn't put it behind Andy Reid to have a plethora of plays lined up behind the idea that, oh, this could be a behind the back pass. But yeah, I think our odds of seeing that during a regular season game this year is probably going to be pretty great. I mean, Andy Reid doesn't seem impressed. Like, yeah, we see that every day. I mean, he probably sees it every day in football, but he's saying we see it every day in basketball. You know, I think they want to incorporate more of that kind of thing, more behind the back, more lateral plays, more of that stuff that just keeps defense on their toes. You know, that's kind of out of the norm of the way the flow of the game. Just something a little bit different. You know, they're a fan of it. Andy Reid's never been one to be like, hey, let's not do the laterals. Let's not do that. I could see him implementing it this year. Welcome back, Nick. Hey.
Oh, my God.
We've got Nick back for now anyway. You know, I was going to say it was fitting that you missed the behind-the-back pass so you would miss the behind-the-back pass discussion. But you're back in here. I don't know what you didn't hear. But first off, your reaction to, even though you didn't see it live, just your overall reaction to Patrick throwing a behind-the-back pass in an NFL game.
Yeah, I mean, it was sick. I mean, it broke the internet. We had a Girl Scout thing at a water park with my kids, and when I said yes to it, I didn't check the schedule. I figured Saturday games got to be a night game, right? No, I was wrong. So then I looked at my phone. I was like, hey, why do I have 1,842 text messages? And it's because I missed like the one play that I've been saying I really wanted to see for the last 2 years. So that was good. Yeah. No, look, it was sick, dude. It was awesome. I mean, look, it wasn't the best pass, right? It was a little low. He needs to get a few more under his belt, I think, before he really kind of gets the feel for it. Probably a little bit of nerves there.
You think I said about the first alley-oop in basketball? It was a little low. Probably get it up there.
A little low. Yeah, I mean, it's a good preseason effort. Did you see, Bo? Did you see what I tweeted at you? It's like
probably. I got a lot of, like, I wouldn't say hate, but it's a lot of Bo.
You got a lot of backed up. Yeah, no, I said, I just was like, training camp check, preseason game check, regular season game, postseason, Super Bowl, right? I mean, those are the 3 that are left. So you just got to check those boxes to really get that behind the back pass really out there in the NFL. But no, it was awesome, man. It was cool. It really, like, Michael Jordan did things that, they were just cool, right? He didn't have to do them. And you can argue that he said he may not have been able to make that play, but he did stuff that was cool just because he's awesome. I mean, there's no other real reason to do it. So I enjoy stuff like that. And they're having fun out there. They're messing with the league, right? Now the league's like, shit, now we got to we can't even really over pursue him because now you can throw it behind him, right? And then it looks like they're messing with the reporters too on the sidelines where they're, people I think they're kind of oh, maybe that was, just improvised when we saw the exact same play in training camp, right? And I heard you guys talking about that, but it was great, man. How can we make a boring preseason game super enjoyable, right? Let's do something like that. We really haven't seen stuff like that from a preseason game since that 70-yard bomb or whatever it was that he threw to Tyreek Hill. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You remember that? In preseason, it was his first year in preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's probably the biggest play that he's had in preseason since then. So, yeah. And as soon as I saw it, I thought about you, Bo. I thought about you. So
we were having a discussion here, Bo and I in the chat. Patrick said it was not scripted, that he did it because Travis ran the wrong route and it was out of spite. And then Travis seemed to kind of laugh at that, say, oh, no, come on, man. That ain't, I didn't run the wrong route. I couldn't understand him because he's got the voice thing. What do you think? Are you team scripted or team improvised on the behind the back pass?
I think they're just messing with people. I mean, you saw Travis kind of go, "What do you mean it's not a play? I mean, he's got first down," and then I think it kind of clicks, and so then he's like, "Oh, like Pat was messing with everybody," and so so he starts going, "Oh, well, he's got the voice thing." I mean, I don't know. That's the way I took it. Is it like it looked like the exact same play that they've been running in training camp, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty similar.
I mean, we talked about it before, when it happened, and it looks kind of like that underhanded pass play that they do, right? Where they kind of misdirect, and then it was supposed to be the play that Tom and Jerry, right? It's what that was, and then it got blown up, so he threw it to McCole Hardman to win the Super Bowl. I think it was a lot less improvisational than maybe they're making it out to be.
Yeah, Susan's thinking it was planned. She's thinking along the lines of her. I know Lainey said that she thought that it was improvised, that Patrick was being honest. Big Doug says he was thinking about Bo too. Send him a text. John C's hashtag planned.
Got a lot of text that moment. It was pretty
planned or improvised. Either way, it was still awesome. And
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it coming to a regular season game near you this season.